If you ever play, my son, my youngest son, he had this game on his phone. Admittedly, I was addicted to playing it once he showed it to me. I just don't remember what the hell the name of it was. It was like this little worm thing or snake or something like that. And it would you steered around and you eat all these dots, but you can't touch another snake or you can't touch the edge of the area you're playing in, or you have to start all over. And the more dots you eat, the longer your snake becomes. So in a lot of ways, and I tried to communicate to my son when he was playing, I said, price is just like that snake game, where it just goes around constantly eating liquidity in bigger moves. And like, look at the chart today from 9:30 to now on a 1 minute chart. That's a snake. Okay. That's grown. Every new candle has consumed liquidity. It's moved to an inefficiency and it moved into liquidity. That's all price is doing. That's all it's doing. It's predetermined. It's going to be doing whatever it's designed to do from midnight in New York local time. It's established. That's the way it works. And I don't give a fuck who doesn't believe it. I don't care. But I'm not going to arm wrestle any of you past this day today. I'm not. I don't care. You either see it or you don't. You don't want to subscribe to the view that it's algorithmically driven and you just want to trust the things I'm teaching you. Great. You'll do no harm to yourself by doing that. But I'm tired of these fucking clowns. Okay? These idiots on fucking social media making videos pretending they have a fucking clue. They have no idea what they're talking about. Zero. And to the professionals that are amongst you, I appreciate the respect and candor that you've shown me, even though you may disagree with it. But I promise you, what you think you know, that's not it. That is not it. But what happens when the market does all these crazy gyrations? That's manual intervention. That's when the gears get turned a little bit. And you'll fall victim to that. Like I fall victim to that. I may be in a trade. I may be about to take a trade. I may look to get into a trade. It may take me out, put me in, or remove me adversely. Whose fault is it? Mine. Am I going to say, oh, the algorithm's changed, they're going to beat me up for now? No. That just means I made a mistake as a trader. I got burned that time, and my money management does the work of preserving me so I don't end my career on one trade transaction like most of you new people are trying to do that. You're holding your entire success and failure on the basis of the result of the very trade you're in or about to take. And then when it doesn't go to your way, no wonder you go mentally insane, crazy, flipping out. Oh, I can't figure this out. Versus it's one transaction among millions of who knows how many trades you're going to take in your whole lifetime. And not all of them are going to be profitable. Not all of them are going to go to your target. I wasn't able to be in on that first run all the way up to 4180. I got stopped out. Did it change my mind about it? No. You watched me wrestle it today in front of all of you in a day that I wouldn't be trading anyway, because I know it's shitty. It's choppy. It does a lot of things that won't make a lot of sense at the time. And I've learned over years, decades, to not demand a whole lot of precision on this day. Now, you might look at this and say, man, that was precise as shit. It's not to me. This is a really cloudy, shitty day. Doesn't matter. I know what the algorithm is likely to do on the larger scale of it. And I'll have to endure that. And I used a short-term trader's mindset to navigate through all that chop. The fair value gaps that I was outlining, they did not hold up. And if that would have been used as a scalp intraday, you would have been stopped at 41.58. It doesn't change the narrative that it was going where? 41.80, 41.93. Let that sink in for a minute. One transaction, one expectation in price, not panning out does not completely cause the market to want to reverse. All right, we didn't get that trade. It was a reversal. We got to go the other direction now. No. And for many of you that watch me, if it goes to a target, that's not an invitation to go the opposite direction. Like, I'm not trying to constantly be in the marketplace, and I'm not trying to teach my students to worry about reading price action like that. Can I sit in front of a chart like the ES or bonds and trade up and down all day long and be profitable? Yes, I can. But it takes a lot out of me. It's a lot of focus. And for what? The fuck do I need to do that for? What would anybody want to need to do that for? Yes, you can do a lot of transactions and run up a bill in commissions. Who wants to do that? You want your commission costs and fees to be manageable, especially if you're a trader. You're going to be pyramiding. Your transaction costs go through the roof. Haven't factored in that any of that cost, have you? Yeah, it eats into it. So you have to be really sure that you know what you're doing, not just I'm a pyramiding trader now because I learned from ICT. That's not a badge of honor. That's an increased cost. And you better be more profitable than the average person, because more transactions is more fees and commissions. And they can eat into your bottom line if you don't know what you're doing. So when I'm talking to you and I'm showing you these things, I want you to think about that analogy I used. When you're watching price and it's coming down the wire and we're watching every new fluctuation, it feels like it's a free market. It feels like it's completely random and we all have the equal playing field of being right or wrong, and it's a 50-50 net sum zero game. It is not anything like that at all. It's scripted, just like wrestling is. The outcome's already predetermined. If it was patterns, okay? If it was patterns or indicators or something you can find in a book or someone that's teaching something out there anywhere, if it was anything like that I'm implementing, it would have been already identified, and then other people would be doing exactly what I'm doing, and they're not. I'm telling you where it's going before it goes. I'm one-sided, and I'm using the logic that I know. I don't guess. I'm not making assumptions. It's not a conjecture. I know these markets book on an algorithm. Sometimes they do a little squirrely thing here and there. Might mess up your focus, might get you out of your trade, and that's fine. Go back to square one. Is the trade still viable? If it is, just trade it like it's your first entry with less risk. But if it's a wrestling match for you to learn under me, I don't want to have any barriers for any of you to learn this year. So this is the last conversation we're going to have about algorithmic anything. It's just going to be, these are my concepts. My students understand what they are rooted in, what they're founded in, how I codified them. But you need not go around poking other YouTubers, other traders, and try to ridicule and minimize whatever they're doing, because they may very well be profitable. And just because you're learning something that I believe, and you'll soon at the end of this year discover too, it is the highest on the food chain. You're at the closest that any other methodology would be to the market itself. And that's saying a lot, I know. And still, it ain't pride. It's not ego. It's just the fucking facts. And when you warm up to the idea that these concepts, we'll call it from that perspective going forward, they give you an edge that is only going to be as good as the trader that implements them. If you come into it groggy, sick, mad, bent, drunk, high, you're not going to be doing it like you're supposed to be doing it. Your perspective is going to be skewed, and that's not equating to really using it like I'm teaching it. So I wanted to talk in a way where I could hopefully disarm you, because some of you listen to me and you're always looking for something to attack instead of just saying, let's test what he's saying. That's what I'm asking you to do. I mean, if I didn't understand what was likely to happen, how can I be right this many times? As precise. I mean, think. when you sit down in these markets and you try to use logic that would be opposed to what I'm teaching, your trades aren't going to pan out. And that's just the bottom line. And they're going to feel like, what am I doing wrong? What do I got to tinker with? What do I have to adjust? And that's all the same shit that I did when I was a young man. When I was 20, I was trying to figure out and decipher what the actual coding for each code indicator, like, what should my variables be for all of my indicators? What settings? I'm going to fine tune it. And that was the big thing back then. Everybody wanted to know what your settings. You all asked me to show you my colors on my charts. What difference does it make what colors I got? When I see that, I think that's somebody that wants to make their charts look like mine, so that way when they take my videos and I forget to put a watermark on it, they can say, "Oh yeah, it was my trade." You can do what I'm doing. It's going to take you time. You don't need to fake it. I want to be understood this year, and I don't want any distractions from your learning. Because if you waste this opportunity, like I'm not springboarding into 2024 doing this again. Like I'm already tired. Like I'm tired already, and we've only done 1 month. So it takes a lot to focus and keep my wits while I'm doing it, and also still have to type all this stuff up. And it's happening on a 1 minute chart. So I'm trying to be as close as I possibly can, because there's people out there will say that I'm using delayed data. And I made the mistake. I wish I would not have posted this tweet now. I said yesterday, I said, all done with the aid of delayed data. And some people said, oh, no wonder. Well, that makes sense. It's like I'm using really delayed data. Oh, man. It was delayed only in the sense that the time it takes for me to talk about it live in the live stream and then finally making it to your computer or phone. Whatever that delay is, I can't change it. I can't fix it. So I'm always going to have people that are going to doubt it and be detractors, and that's fine. You're going to have the same thing. So just bear that in mind if you are trying to learn how to do this and you want to be a social media influencer. It's not easy, especially if your heart's in it, because I wear my heart on my sleeve and I want all of my students to do well. And when you see me address things that people that don't like me communicate and talk about, I'm concerned about the one person that listens to them and doesn't take the initiative to look into it themselves and see, is there anything to this? They just take somebody else's opinion. They allow social media to mold and shape their opinion, which is the worst thing you can possibly do. I'm weighing myself in the balances in front of all of you. You're able to see what I'm doing every day. I'm right or I'm wrong. The logic is there or it's not. And I've converted a lot of folks that were against me years ago. They don't like to admit it publicly, and I don't rub their nose in it, but I want everyone to do well. Like that's what I want that. I don't care who's making money as a competitor to me. I don't give a fuck. There's no competition. There's no competition. You make money, everybody else makes money. Who cares? But this faction against faction, this tribe against tribe, this team against other team, there's no ICT team. It's just you. You are an army of one. When you sit in front of your charts and you learn how to do this, you don't need allies. You don't need to call in backup. You're going to do whatever you're going to do, and you're a force to be reckoned with. And your bottom line will be a resulting proof and testimony to that. It doesn't mean you won't have flesh wounds and paper cuts along the way, because you will. But they don't take you out of the game. The only thing that occurs that takes you out is you. Not controlling yourself, not controlling risk, not overtrading. And who's in control of that? You are. Your broker's not going to help you. Your partner that you all see other folks in the comments Hey, I'm looking for a trade partner, someone to learn, as a partner with. No, unless that person is your spouse or significant other, it doesn't work. A divided mind never sees it the same way. I'm telling you, that's just the fucking truth. You can't deny it. Once you try it, and you'll drive yourself crazy doing it. You're asking to be in a laboratory experiment, two different individuals with two different personalities, two sets of character flaws. And we all have character flaws. And you're all going to decipher and interpret whatever I say in my lectures differently, because you're cherry picking in the beginning. You want to get right to the buy me, sell me, stop here, target here. And you're all trying to listen to the things I'm saying like I'm talking secret code. Oh, he's giving an enigma message. He's talking in parables. He's really speaking to me, and he's telling me to buy S&P right now. No, I'm just fucking talking. That's all I'm doing. I'm talking and I'm teaching, and everybody hears the same thing, but you're all turning me into this fucking science fiction shit. Like it's tiresome. I'm just a man. That's all. I got stuff that I think you would enjoy having, and I'm just asking you to delve into it. But you can't be divided. Can't have someone else try to help you learn when they're learning. It doesn't make any sense, because you don't know if you have the equivalent of the lowest GPA student in the class as your partner, and you're going to listen to them and be influenced by them, and their GPA and performance and aptitude is in the low end, and you don't know that, and you don't want to waste time and discover that's what you've been dealing with. So price is absolutely like a deck of cards being shuffled. And when you understand how the mechanic, the composite man, the real market maker, when they're running up a hand, stacking a deck, building a market structure, and ready to deal the top or the bottom of the deck, buy side or sell side, you'll know how to play the hand that you have. Betting what you can afford to bet and ante up on. If you can't afford it, can't ante up, then you just watch it, you study it. But we're not looking at price and when it moves like, oh shit, where did that come from? Oh, that was surprising. Look at that. Have you ever heard me remark like, wow, shit, I didn't see that coming? Yeah, you're going to have the same thing occur every time we do our live streams. It's boring. It's fucking boring. And I'll say this in closing, because I have a couple minutes left and you thought I was going to go over, didn't you? Why isn't ICT a fucking billionaire? If he's the smartest person in the world, which I don't claim to be. I've never said that. Why isn't ICT a billionaire? Well, first of all, none of you know my net worth, and I don't make it my business to tell anybody my net worth. And it's irrelevant anyway. But if a card counter is discovered in a casino, does the casino invite them to sit at their table? No. As much as you believe that these markets are free, they're not. They're controlled, and they should be. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not vilifying any of it. But you shouldn't be afraid of it. You should be thankful it's rigged. It's good. It's a good thing that it's rigged. Because if it was really free, the folks on Reddit would have crashed it a long time ago. But you've seen how silly that was, wasn't it?